back to my channel today, and we are doing a brand new Sims 2 speed build. And so today I'm actually doing something really different and actually kind of fun, because I am building a fixer-upper rundown home for Ripp Grunt in Strangetown. And if you're not familiar with the Grunt family, they are a military family, a family of 4, with General Buzz Grunt, who is the father, Tank, Ripp, and Buck. And Ripp is actually the middle child of the family, where he is kind of a little bit younger than Tank, where Tank is like getting close to young adulthood, but not too close, but in the middle of his age stage. However, if you didn't see the speed build or the current household update video that I did a couple days ago, I will leave a link down below in the description if you didn't see it. But however, General Buzz Grunt and his kids are absolutely dysfunctional and crazy, because the moment that I started playing with Strangetown and that family alone, I was absolutely appalled on how sad the family is, because General Buzz Grunt is, one, divorced at the top of his career. He's kind of a hard-headed, ambitious sim that doesn't really acknowledge his youngest child, Buck, but also kind of reprimands and lectures Ripp Grunt constantly about his behavior, his tolerance, what he does on a daily basis, skipping school, missing work, not really having anything going in his life at all. And so ultimately, I feel like down this path that has been going on for years and years, that Ripp has gone to the point where he felt like he wasn't really good enough and didn't really actually want to be able to live in that household anymore. So I decided to actually build him a nice, not so nice, rundown home that he can fix up himself and do what he needs to do in order to succeed in life. However, the thing is, the current household video that you saw, there was a bit of an issue with the family, where, if you don't know this already, General Buzz Grunt was divorced by his ex-wife, now deceased, Layla Grunt. She divorced him, and then she moved out, and then she later on got electrocuted the next day, and now she is buried in the Spectre household graveyard with Ophelia, and then the other lady, the old lady with the chair in the backyard of her graveyard with all the graves. Kind of sketchy, kind of crazy, kind of sus. However, the next day, or the next couple of days, I was playing my current household with the Grunt family. General Buzz Grunt was talking to Ripp, and again, lecturing him, reprimanding him about his behavior, of course, because he actually skipped 2 days of school, and now he has a D in school, which is not lovely. He still has a D. But literally, the next day after that, it started raining. More lecturing happened. Ripp went inside, and then you know what happened? General Buzz Grunt got electrocuted by lightning, and then walked inside, and then died. And so that ultimately was kind of a sad, tragic moment in life for all my Sims. Not really Ripp, more so Tank, because Tank is the head honcho, head of household kind of, or second command, I would call it, where he wanted to be just like his father, being the military career, ambitious, top of the line, has everything going for him, wife, kids, the house, everything, white picket fence, and all that jazz, which I think I'm going to build for him down the line when he graduates college, but we'll see how things pan out for him. He might not get the white picket fence of his dreams. Who knows? But overall, the reason why I'm building this house is, of course, Ripp Grunt. The way I'm playing it right now is that since General Buzz is dead and Tank is actually getting close to young adulthood and moving off to college, I thought it was time for Ripp to decide whether he wants to go to college or he wants to drop out of high school and not go to college and just live his, I guess, best life, or some life that he wants to live by. But he realizes that ever since he was little, around the age of 7 years old, and Tank was 9 or 10, he always felt forgotten. And I think thinking back at the time where he felt so forgotten and on the back burner of his life, that he kind of feels bad for Buck, because Buck is the youngest child. He's only 8 years old, and Buck is kind of left on the back burner, where General Buzz doesn't really acknowledge his son. He doesn't really talk to him. And all Buck wants to have is be seen and be heard and actually loved by his father, and go out into the world and see things that he hasn't seen before. And so ultimately, I think that Ripp is going to take Buck with him to this house. So I added a Murphy bed where Buck can sleep on one side and Ripp can sleep on the other side. And the house that they currently live in right now, I'm probably just going to end up not deleting it, but I'm going to sell all the furniture. So Rip can actually kind of afford this house because he is in the slacker career as a teenager. He's still a teen. He's actually a gas station attendant, which isn't really the best career right now. And I believe at that level of that career, I'm pretty sure as a teenager, he is a level 3. And he doesn't earn that much money. He only earns like around 190 simoleons a day. And when I tell you the Sims simoleon like career stuff is absolutely insane. I think in the Sims 4, you earn money per hour, where in the Sims 2, you earn money per day. So if you want to earn 200 simoleons, you earn that per day. So you're living under the poverty line in the Sims. And it's kind of sad, but I mean, it works for what he's trying to do. He does get a bonus of like 380 simoleons, but he's not doing that well at all in any of his endeavors. And so Rip is like technically 8 days away before he's an adult. And I think I extended the age range or something that I did in my game that made the days longer for the Sims. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll have to see. I don't know. But I think at this time where Buck is almost a teenager, Rip is almost an adult, and I'm going to actually have him age up into adult, but still kind of keep that playthrough age range where Tank is the oldest and Rip is like the middle child and Buck is still the younger child too. But the way the game works, they're only like days apart. And so it's kind of interesting to see how this lineage kind of goes forth. And I'm looking forward to see like where Rip's lifestyle goes, or like where he goes, because he did have a very high relationship, or he still does, medium. He has a relationship with Johnny Smith. He's actually an alien of the Smith family, Jenny Smith, who is a child, which I think I might have Buck get together with when he gets older. I'm not entirely sure just yet, but only time will tell. But Johnny is an alien, and Rip and Johnny are best friends. They're not going to go to school or they're not going to college. I know that for a fact. I know Johnny's not, because he decided head on that I'm not going to be, educated. I don't want to have higher education whatsoever. So I'm just going to age up and live my own life. I might even move in with Buck. Who really knows? And ultimately, that might be the case where Rip and Johnny might start a band together. And that would be very, very cool. If they could start a band together, I'd be so happy about that, because they can make music together. They can create all these different things. And I don't know. I mean, if they make music together, cool. They might make some money, but they can play the same songs together. But I don't think in The Sims you can actually physically make a band. Now that I think, I don't think you can actually make a choo-choo band. You can like have them sing songs together, perform together, but not actually have bands. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Johnny and Rip are going to live together at some point in their life as roommates and see where life goes. They might end up being best friends forever, but they might ultimately actually hate each other at the end of the day. But this house is only fit for 2 Sims, where it's going to be Buck and Rip. And I decided to actually add in a lot more clutter items than I anticipated, because the idea for this house is that I wanted to make sure that it had everything that Rip needed in order to have him live his life somewhat good, but also have some things for Buck, because Buck, I'm going to move them into this house when he's still a child. So he's still going to have like his toy box and, some art easels and some other cool knickknacks and paddywhacks that he can call his own, that we might take from the old house to the new house, but really not that much. I'm still going to sell everything, but I did want to still keep that childlike wonder for this home, but still make it all grungy and down and in need of a fixer-upper. And I think I might actually down the line fix up this house when we get enough simoleons down the line in order to make it look somewhat decent, that it actually, well, when you think about it now in the game, it does. Because Strangetown is very bare, not a lot of Sims. We got the Smith family, you got, Ophelia in them, you got the Grunt family, got the Spectre family, the Grunt family, the Smith family, and then there's 2 other families. I know there's something Curious, whatever his name is. He's the son of the Spectre household. And, Test Subject. I think that's what his name, Test Subject, I'm pretty sure. Either way, it's only technically, I think 6 5 or 6 families in Strangetown. So not a lot going on here. I do want to eventually fix up the town where it's a little bit more livelier. There's some Sims visiting here and there. I'm not going to add in the Blue Water Village one because it seems kind of weird and I don't kind of like that world that much. I don't go there. But I do want to like bring the town to its former glory after the wreckage of the aliens, the Bella Goth's disappearance, because apparently Bella Goth is roaming around in Strangetown, apparently, and is kind of creepy and kind of sus. So we'll figure out that later, but only time will tell. But I want to let you all know that with this family, you're going to see a lot more of them because I do want to see a little bit more of progression of their life, where I will do like a quote unquote rotational gameplay, like my way of rotational gameplay in The Sims 2, and show you the different families of Strangetown on how I would technically play them and do it that way. So there's like a storyline happening. And so you're not confused, but you kind of get understanding of the families and how I storytell in The Sims. And a lot of you all really do like my storytelling, which means so much to me. Like one day I might even write a book. Who really knows? You never know. And of course, you know how to add a sprinkle in here and there, of course, with the dirty clothes, the plants everywhere, and the mismatch, whatever. I made sure that this house made no sense. Like mismatched wallpaper, unfinished wallpaper, ugly flooring, ugly objects that made no sense to belong in a room, let alone anywhere. So I added in a fixer-upper cart in the water, a stove, and a refrigerator in the pond next to the house. Because I thought, hey, why not? I did that in my old house that I did so long ago, I think like 2 years ago. If you want to go watch that speed build, I will leave a link down below in the description, but also a card on the screen so you can go see it for yourself. I just have a lot of fun building abandoned type homes, whether it's in The Sims 2 or The Sims 4. I've never tried it in The Sims 3 before. Because for the longest time, as you know, The Sims 3 runs like hot garbage on a Sunday morning, looking like a big toe. On a Sunday morning, looking like a big toe, as you all know. So the other thing about Ripp is that I can kind of see him as a dog person or a cat person. So I added in a dog house on the outside because we don't have any room on the inside to fit anything for a pet whatsoever, let alone like a dog or a cat. Either one, they're not living inside the house. So Ripp is that Sim. I'm probably going to still have him live in this house for a long time, probably half until his elder stage. Because I don't really see him like earning a lot of simoleons. I can see him taking out a bunch of loans, owing back a lot of money, getting his stuff like repossessed, maybe Buck running away from home. Like I can see a lot of bad things happening to him because all his life, he's just like that one Sim that you see and think, yeah, he's not really the best of the best. He doesn't really have a lot going on for him. Like his own description literally says that Ripp does not get along with his father and Tank, but he is friends with Buck. And that's why Buck and Ripp are going to live together for those sole reasons, because they get along together. They're very playful, they're very kind to each other, and actually understand what they're like each of them are going through. He had a really good like childhood growing up a little bit, but he grew up badly because of his mother dying from electrocution and didn't really get to see that whole like upbringing. Luckily though, the good thing is that Buck was born and he was still a baby, and at the time it was like, but why? So I'm thinking that with the timeline is that Layla was still alive, but Tank was probably a teenager, a freshly teenager. Ripp just aged up into a child, I think. And then Buck was a toddler at the time. And then she died. I really don't know. But I gotta look more into that because I'm so curious about everything that happens. His skills are very low. Doesn't have a good mechanical skill. Doesn't have a good charisma skill. His relationships are not that great. Honestly, not the best. His personality, he's a Sagittarius, so he's sloppy. He's more sloppy. He's very outgoing, very lazy, like playful and nice. He doesn't have the best. His interests, however, he really loves food and entertainment, but also he does love money and the weather. Like, when you look at all of his memories, which you probably saw in the current House Update video, you would see that his life has gone like an emotional roller coaster on steroids, because one day he's good, next day he's like failing, next day he's good, next day he's failing. You just never really know. He's very unpredictable, and it's kind of hard to see his life this way. And ultimately, only time will tell to see how well his life goes as he moves out of this house, of his old house, to this new house. And hopefully his relationship with Buck grows even more, and he can find himself seeing him and Johnny living together in the same house, because he still has a crush on Ophelia. I think they're in a relationship at this point. So honestly, I'm quite excited to see where things go for Ripp and Buck and the town of Strangetown, but only time will tell, as we all know. But anyway, I hope you all definitely enjoyed today's video as much as I did. Please let me know down in the comments below, as always, of what do you think of Ripp Grunt and the Grunt family in general, because I personally believe their life is a hot mess express, and you don't want to unveil that stress. But all in all, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye!